It was a perfect day for South Africa in on day two of the second test against Bangladesh. Everything that we spoke about on our review show yesterday came to fruition, and it is amazing to see that when we do speak about strategies and thought processes and about this game, that the team actually does those things. I don't have many complaints. For so many years, South Africa teams have kind of done things that are a bit strange. And sometimes when they do the obvious and they do it well, it puts a smile on my face as a Proteas fan. So I'm really happy after day two. It was a complete domination with a bat and then as well with the ball. We did what we needed to do. Now it's just about trying to finish off Bangladesh and get that second victory under our belts. That should be the aim. That should be the focus. And I'm hoping that South Africa can pull that off. Today, we're going to be talking about all of this on today's show. As you guys know, every single day after the day's play, I have a chat and see what you guys have to say in the live chat too. But before we get going, before we get started, there are a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. First and foremost, please subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos. Smash that like button. Share this video with everybody that you know that are South African cricket fans. But also, comment in the comment section below after we've ended the stream. It really helps the content spread and it really helps the channel grow. So please do so. I really ask all of you to please. And I'll get to as many comments as possible, but you definitely see a little heart on your comment if you have commented. If I don't think that it's a little bit rash and if you haven't said anything rude or racist, then obviously I will like your comment if I don't have a response for it. I'd also like you guys to please subscribe to Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I am really looking forward to discussing this match with you guys. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid, and today we're going to be discussing day two of the second test between Bangladesh and South Africa. So, what happened? South Africa came out to bat after being 307 for two, and the aim obviously today was to bat as long as possible and to score as many runs as possible. We spoke about it on the show yesterday, and that's exactly what we needed from this team. We needed to score at least 450 and go beyond 500 if we could. And that was the aim. That was the mentality that I wanted to see from South Africa. And boy, did they deliver. Tony de continued where he left off and was supported absolutely brilliantly by David Bellingham. De brought up his 150 and helped SA past that 350 run mark, which was a very important milestone for the team. Bellingham brought up his 50 in 70 balls, taking SA to 366 for two. And then after 96 overs, that was after 96 overs, and then drinks was called, and they took a little bit of a sip because it's hot out there, guys, very hot out there. But Bellingham only managed to score 59 of 78 balls. He scored 2 4s and 4 6s when he was bowled by Taijul. Taijul has been absolutely phenomenal with the ball for Bangladesh. He needs to get a lot of praise for the way he's performed. He's found turn and found ways to take wickets on this wicket, even when it wasn't really turning much. He found ways to deliver, and he was brilliant. And when he took that David Bellingham wicket, South Africa were reduced to 386 for three in 98.2 overs. And that was the end of that 116 run partnership between Bellingham and Tony DeZorzi. But what a performance by David Bellingham. I liked his intent. I liked the way he played. He did the right thing. He batted for the team, not for himself. Even though it could have been a wicket where he possibly could have gotten 100, I liked his approach and I liked his mindset. And I think at that point they were thinking of trying to score quickly so that they can obviously get the declaration early and then have the rest of the day to bowl, get as many wickets against Bangladesh as possible. Dazorzi reached 177 of our 269 balls, 12 fours, 4 sixes, and it took SA to 391 before he was dismissed LBW by Tijl for his fourth wicket. Again, it looked at some point that he was going to take all 10 wickets of South Africa. Tijl then brought up his fifer to dismiss Calverine for a duck, and SA were reduced to 391 for 5. And Cal will feel terrible after everybody else put runs on the board except him. He's the only one with a big zero next to his name, as you can see on the scorecard. It was a bit of a shame after that amazing 100 that he scored in the first Test match. But during this period, it was quite shocking because South Africa actually lost 3 wickets for 5 runs in 26 deliveries, and that was a bit of a negative, you could say. But I'm not going to hop too much on it because the rest of the match wasn't negative at all. That's the only little bit of negativity that I can probably put out there just for the sake of being balanced. Ryan Rickleton and Vian Mulder survived until lunch and then taking SA to 413 for 5. But after the break, Rickleton lost his wicket for 12. And SA were reduced for 423 for 6. And that was a bit of a shame because Ryan had a massive opportunity to get that scores that he was hoping for, like to get his test career off the ground. He's been taking quite a long time to get himself settled in the Protea setup. It took quite a while to get himself into the ODI setup and scoring runs, plus T20 setup and scoring runs. Now that he's finally gotten it, it's time for his test career to take off, and he still has to wait for that. He probably won't get another chance in this test match if we can bowl Bangladesh out twice. Mulder came out to the crease. It was out in the middle, and Senator Mutasami, who a lot of people actually criticized for being selected in the match, which was funny when I put out the team announcement. Some people were criticizing him on social media for his selection, but I said that I would like to see either him or Deval Brevis get a chance, and Coach Shukri went with Senator Mutasami, and boy did he pay him back for that selection. Mulder and Senator Mutasami, they both took SA past 450, building a very important partnership, and they strung together over 100 runs to take SA past that 500-run mark. And Mulder brought up his second career half-century at this point, and the second in the series so far. At T, South Africa had 527 for 6 on the board. Mulder was 78 not out at that point, and Mutasami was on, I think, 47 not out at that point, if I'm not mistaken. And then after T, Mutasami brought up his maiden half century, which is more important, so I'm not going to delve too much on that one, with a cut shot for 4, and that was obviously validated his selection in this match. Brilliant innings from him, looked solid. I wasn't surprised because I've seen this guy play. I've seen this guy play domestically for years. I know that he can bat, and I know that he has the ability in him. So Coach Shukri giving him that belief, and it's amazing what that belief can do to players. If you show your players belief, it's amazing what they can produce if you show them that belief and you show them that backing. So currently, everybody that Coach Shukri has been given opportunities it all has paid off. So the players are really coming to the party, which is fantastic. At that point, we were waiting for the declaration, and the Proteas were probably just waiting for Mulder to reach his maiden century before they declared. He brought it up with a maximum, scoring 105 of 150 balls, 8 fours and 4 sixes. Mutasami finished on 70 of 75 balls, with 5 fours and 2 sixes. And South Africa declared on 575 for 6 after the partnership of 154 not out. So a total domination by the team, brilliant performance by them, and we have to say, fantastic day with the bat. Bangladesh started their innings on 5 due to penalty runs after Mutasami was penalized for running on the pitch. And then they put on some extra runs as well because of some extras that the bowlers were bowling. But it didn't take long for Kagiso Rabada to get that start for South Africa, nicking off Shadman Ismail for a duck. Then he followed it up in the fifth over, finding another nick, this time off the bat of Zakir, and Bangladesh were reduced to 21 for 2. And not too long after that, Dane Patterson struck. He made it 29 for 3 with a wicket of Mahmudal Hassan Joy, who edged the delivery to mark them in the slips. And then Keshkaf Maharaj then bowled the night watchman, Hassan Mahmood, for a duck. And this is always stresses that whole debate about Shukri Conrad not liking night watchmen, because your batters should be able to see out the day's play, which their batters ended up doing in the end. Bad light brought a close to the day's play, with Bangladesh on 38 for 4 and trailing by 537 runs. So that's how the game ended, or how the day ended. And South Africa are definitely in the driving seat in this match. Fantastic performance all around. I'm really happy with this team and the way they performed. Brilliant performance from South Africa, and we are completely dominating this match like we would have hoped to. So let's get into the live chat and see what you guys have had to say. Dreamer Vision says Mutasami should have got 100. Tomorrow the match is over, says Dreamer. Mankey says, announcer, batting suddenly became difficult. Now, bro, Bangladesh, bro, is just rubbish. You know, the thing about that is, and it's something that I spoke about yesterday, the aim should have been to keep Bangladesh out in the middle as long as possible, drain them of their energy, because we know that batting takes a hell of a lot of concentration. And when you're fatigued and when you're hot and you're sweating and you've been out in the field for 2 days, you tend to lose your concentration. And that's exactly what happened, especially when you're facing a fresh bowling attack that has been sitting in a air conditioning, in the cool, eating, hydrating, and are fully energized. It's going to take a toll. And South Africa have definitely mon- taken advantage of that. Just Ginger Just says, only thing there is possibility to complain about today is Rickerton needs to cement his spot and he's missed out again. Other than that, top stuff from the gents. I agree. It's time for Ryan Rickerton to now step up and perform in the test arena. He's done it now in the other two formats, and he now has to follow that into his test, in his test performances. Shikar says Rabada has displaced Bumrah at the top of the ICC Test bowling rankings, first time at the helm after 2019. That's brilliant. Shakir says 15 overs short again today, so frustrating. Has the new ball come yet? No, right? Well, South Africa's obviously bowls with the new ball at the start of the innings. SF enforced the follow on. The pitch is surely getting tougher, even if just a bit. I don't think it's getting tougher. It's getting a little bit tougher, yes, for this, especially from the spinning perspective. You could see how that ball was keeping low bounce and inconsistent bounce, and the way it was turning for Keshav Maharaj. And even Aiden Markram was getting a little bit of turn. So yeah, it's the game is completely in South Africa's favor at the moment. We did exactly what we needed to do, and that's exactly what I said. We needed to, if we are going to bat just till after tea, we need to try and strike early and get as many wickets as possible so that we can utilize the morning session tomorrow with a little bit of overhead conditions that we possibly can get for a little bit of movement. But the pitch is going to deteriorate, and it's going to be a lot better for our bowlers then. So I'm hoping that South Africa can clean up Bangladesh very early on tomorrow and then send them into bat again, so that we have a very low total to either chase or we bowl them out twice. Avin says, brilliant performance from S.A. Khalid, bro. Mulder went God mode today. What happened to Rickerton? No idea. Keith says, fans should understand that Bangladesh are no pushovers. They recently beat Pakistan and also have beaten Australia in a test match 2 years ago. There's a massive confidence boost for SA test team. Yes, and that's what I said. I said there's no way that Bangladesh are pushovers. If you watch my preview of the test series, I said that. I said specifically that in their own conditions, they are quite a very good team. South Africa are just playing better test cricket than them at the moment. NY's Times Square says Mulder 7, Marco 8, and Jan and Kutsia at 9. Make that happen. We will win 5 ICC titles in a row. Shikar says if Bangladesh score around 150, 180, do you think SA should enforce the follow on or bat again? I would enforce the follow on and then try and personally, I wouldn't try to bat again. It's no need, in my opinion, because at that point we would have been in a good rhythm with our bowlers. You don't want to try and like break that rhythm in a way. Wilbur Stanley says, Pinar, whoever is the shirt manufacturer for the Proteas need their contract cancelled. Why is the emblem blue? Maggie says, how is the pitch looking? The pitch is getting better from worse, a little bit worse. There's a little bit of dust on it. There are a little bit of indentations in the wicket now starting to form. Obviously, with after a lot of running on between the wickets, etc. Sanjay says Khalid, Bumrah versus Rabada in test matches. Who is better? It's difficult to say. I'm always going to go with KG Rabada because I feel that KG is fantastic no matter what wicket he plays on. But Bumrah has an amazing ability and skill to be able to, particularly in swinging conditions, to really dominate. Shikar says, please comment on Mutasami, the bowler. I don't know much about his bowling. He's a very good bowler, very consistent bowler, very similar to Keshav Maharaj, I'm not going to lie. He spent a lot of time with Kesh at the Dolphins and took a lot of learnings from him. And there's plenty of interviews on this channel with Senaran that I've spoken to him about that, who explains his game, his bowling, etc. So search for Senaran on this channel and go watch my interviews with him, and you'll get an indication of this type of play he is and who he's learned from in his past as a bowler. So far as the SA play reminded me of the old SA. Keith Griffin says Bumrah looks out of form. It's not now between Rabada and Cummins as the top bowlers in the world. Shikar says, bro, are you following New Zealand versus India Test series? Amazing achievement by the Kiwis. Fantastic. I haven't gotten an opportunity to really watch much of it though. I did watch the first test, but I haven't really had much opportunity to watch more. Kiwis are doing an amazing job over there, and it just shows India also struggles against spin. Uh, just because they're good at playing in spinning conditions and hassling opposition batters, doesn't mean that they won't struggle against good spinners too. Sarfar says, SA lucky to have both Rabada and Maharaj, number one test bowler and number one ODI bowler. Keith Griffin says Bumrah went wicketless and is averaging 36 with the ball in that series. Yeah, the one thing about KG is that makes him so great is obviously his strike rate, but also his ability to bowl anywhere, no matter what the wicket is, whether it's flat, whether it's turning, whether it's moving, all of those things is brilliant. So he's brilliant at almost any position and any pitch in anywhere in the world. I think that's what makes him so fantastic. He's so skillful and he's adaptable. Wilbur Stanley Pina says not to be too critical, but can you comment on Patterson's speed and fitness? Well, his speed is around about late 120s, early 130s. He can crank it up a bit. And he's been bowling a hell of a lot of overs in county and as well for Western Province when he was there. He's not in his peak fitness, of course he's not, but his ability with a new ball, his skills with a new ball is fantastic. So South Africa can really, really use that experience in this match. Especially that's why you have the extra seamer now. Patterson doesn't have to bowl as many overs because Vian can always come take some pressure off him and bowl the bulk of the overs. And we just need him to be able to strike with that new ball and at particular times in the match when the ball is reverse swinging. Shikar says, thanks, Khalid, for taking out time to talk about SA cricket. Thanks a lot for joining and being a part of the conversation. I'm trying to do my part in for South African cricket, and I hope that it rewards me in return for this consistent effort and hard work that we've been putting in, that I've been putting in on cricketfanaticsmag.com, the magazine, and on the YouTube channel. We've just been struggling because I can't take any betting sponsorship or alcohol sponsorship. And so I've had to turn down a lot of offers from those companies because I'm not allowed to take money from that, and it goes against my principle. I don't agree with alcoholism and betting, particularly because of what it's doing to the community, to the poorer communities in South Africa. So I don't want to be taking money from those organizations. So I'm going to have to find other ways on how to make cash with this project. And I'm currently doing things like creating a marketplace to be able to promote South African local businesses in the cricket industry, particularly. And I'm going to be running ads very soon to be able to promote what we're going to offer people. It's so dirt cheap what we're offering, and it's so effective. You're going to get your money's worth tenfold. So for any local small businesses out there, South African cricket businesses, but particularly, please contact us, email us, get in touch with us. We want to try and help you promote your business because I want to try and help promote the businesses within the cricket space. Because then, out of that, the industry will grow, and then cricket will grow. More companies will be able to sponsor more cricket communities and teams, etc. The more money cricket businesses make, the better it is for cricket in general. And then it's better for me as well as a cricket business. So I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do good within the cricket space. And I hope that I am. And thank you so much for the comment. I really appreciate it. Avint Maharaj has great ability to pick up wickets regularly. The guy's world class. In my time square says, did you watch Jared Kimber show? Can you feature in his show or he can be in yours? I've never actually contacted him or asked him. Maybe I'll reach out perhaps in the future. Keith says, Mutasami will give good competition to Maharaj. Keith says, is Patterson supposed to be Philander like Milt? He's there for his experience and his consistency. He's very good at keeping a good, consistent line and length. That's why he performed so well in domestic 4-day cricket for Western Province when he played. Because what he does is he keeps it so consistent that the domestic batters who don't really have the experience of being able of getting that consistency and playing against that type of consistency, they always end up nicking off or getting bowled because he has that consistent deliveries that he can put in the good areas and test out domestic batters. That's what makes him so brilliant. You could see today the delivery that got the wicket. He bowled a similar delivery just before, just drawing out the batter to play the shot. And then he put it just slightly next to it, but the same length. And the batter nicked him off. So that's his ability. He's able to like draw out batters and play consistent lines and lengths. Rolando says, I think SA scored this much after 2021 series test against Sri Lanka, where Faf scored 199. Peterson is 35 years old. Don't see him as a long-term prospect. He's not. I think it was just for the series that Coach Shukri called upon him because he wanted the likes of Gerald and Marco after very long injuries to just ease themselves back into things again and pick up their pace again and get that rhythm again before the South African home series, because definitely Gerald as well as Marco will be in that squad. I'm almost certain of it. Paul says Ricky and Kyle be peeved off with their performance. Mulder on fire. Rolando said Stubbs laid foundation. Good to see him defending and strike rotation along with unconventional shots. He's a brilliant batter. Probably my favorite Protea at the moment. Keith, it would be a good to see Rabada and Giri Nokia could see a Jansenberger in the same team. Dominant. Verba says, I have respect for you for your stand against alcoholism and what it's doing to the community. I hope you get sponsors that align with your principles. Thanks a lot. Thank you a lot. And gambling. It's I mean, I've gone to plenty of townships around the country, and it's crazy. Some of them don't even have like fast food restaurants or malls, but on every corner there's a shebeen or a gambling spot. So it just shows who those companies are actually targeting, because we know that people that don't have anything, that are struggling in poverty, are desperate for quick wins. And once they taste the that type of lifestyle, or they get a taste of that, they hooked. And once they hooked, it's over. They're going to be constant customers. And so they're constantly looking for escapes and ways to get out of this situation. So yeah, that's just my stance. Shikar says important for SA tomorrow to keep the pressure on, even if the partnership builds. And guys, by the way, my stance on those things has nothing to do with my religion. Um, Even if I wasn't Muslim, I still would have the same stance. That's my belief, as a person, as a human being. So it's got nothing to do with my religion at all. If you guys maybe think that that's the reason. Important for SA tomorrow to keep pressure on, even if the partnership builds a bit. Rolando says, but bro, I have seen betting sponsorship in Pakistan matches. They are also Islamic country. Yeah, that's why I said it's got nothing to do with my religion. It's funny that you actually put that there. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with my religion. It's got to do with my models and my principles as a human being, not my religion. I know that there are other countries, etc., that they have like a fine line what they're doing with regards to that, and they're finding ways to do it. But just for me personally, I'm personally against it. I don't have anything against people that drink or people that gamble, etc. I'm not a judgmental person at all. So I won't. I mean, I accept people and what they do, but just for me personally, I don't want to be a part of um, that spiral, that dark hole that's being created in this world. Because I mean, that's betting and alcohol is everywhere with regards to sports sponsorship. Shika says, your take on the no balls bowl today? I think it's a bit of rustiness, not bowling for five for so long and then coming in after sitting there, you know, not really warmed up too much and then coming into bowl. It will level out. Avin says, Khalid, bro, how do you rate current SA test team? I'm not going to get too carried away. There's still a lot for these players to learn, a lot for them to improve on. This is a very good victory, but they need to step it up and improve consistently. And I hope that their mentality doesn't get delusioned by this performances today. They must take the positives, learn from it, and move forward. And continuously know and be conscious of the fact that there is still a lot to learn. They mustn't get ahead of themselves or get cocky. They need to remember that there's still a lot for them as a unit, as a team to learn as a test nation. So they must take the win, take the confidence, and continuously listen to their coaches and continuously listen on how they can improve their game still. They should be trying to improve their game until they retire. That should be everybody's mentality. I think Rolando says, I think Aiden should be given captaincy full time. Blitz says there was a spot outside my primary school where children gambled. Gee whiz, that's crazy. Rolando says every time Aiden captain SA look better tactically and team balance wise. Voba says, I really like Mulder's resurgence. It creates competition for that all-rounder spot. Janssen cannot just walk into the team. Yeah, but Coach Shukri spoke about it on a previous show. I had the press conference where Coach Shukri spoke on the preview, I think it was, of this match. And he said he sees Marco Janssen more as a number 8. So I can see a team where both of them play in the team together. So that's something that we definitely can see in the near future, I hope. Sapo says, I'm impressed with Mulder's recent performances. It's the hard work, dedication he's put in. And I know this because we did a exclusive with Vian Mulder on this channel where we spoke to him. And he spoke to us about him overthinking. And I had plenty of conversations with Vian off the record as well, where I told him that he needs to stop overthinking his batting. He needs to allow his natural technique and instinct to take over to an extent. He's done the yards. He's been a good batter his whole life, but I felt that he was overthinking things and he was trying to um he's over analyzing himself as a batter rather than trusting his technique, trusting his ability and his instincts. And I think there's a lot of work that has gone down with him in fixing that. And I think he's improved a hell of a lot with his batting over the last two seasons, particularly T20, ODIs, as well as in Test cricket and 4-day cricket. Keith says, when Sri Lanka plays SA, expected to be a close series, especially since Sri Lanka has been first Asian team to win in SA 100%, and the venues that they're playing on are going to be spin friendly, guys. So Keith says, I think Mulder bats better than Janssen. Mulder's bowling is a bit tighter as well. Janssen gets hammered now and then. Mulder always batted high up in a team since he was in high school. He batted three and bowled, whereas Janssen always batted as a seven uh, or eight down the order. He doesn't very often bat very high. So that I think they're completely two different batters. Mulder generally is a top order batter, supposed to be. And he can bowl as well. That's how it was supposed to go. But when Otis Gibson saw him as a bowler and saw his technique as a bowler, they changed that, and things started to change for Vian Mulder because he was getting into the team as a bowler. So his focus went there, and his batting was kind of neglected to an extent. But he's realized, and I'm glad whoever actually spoke to him and whoever advised him to focus on his batting and work on his batting and improve his mentality, they need a gold star, honestly. Shika says, will the wickets against Sri Lanka be a bit slow? Matches are in Durban and Kabeja. How is it generally in November? I mean, it always rains in Durban. It doesn't matter what time of the year. And Kabeja, similarly, it does get quite a bit of rain as well. So we don't know how the wickets are going to be. You can look at the Western Province match currently against the Dolphins. You'll see what that wicket is like. That's the type of wickets we're probably going to get for the Test matches. Blitz says Mulder's performance is shocking. Never thought he was this good. Nanda says, but Mulder is conditional bowler has limit. His conditional bowler has limits, but his batting has improved. NY Times says Mulder can be used as a floater in T22. He must be number 7 in the next T20 World Cup, with Marco being 8. Nanda says, I think SA has to be given green tops to nullify their spinners. Plus, his Khalid, didn't Janssen say he opened the batting when he was a child, or was it his brother? Hey, it might have been, but he was a kid though, younger. I'm talking about now in high school. It might have been Tuan. I actually don't remember. Did he say that in the interview we did with both of them? I must maybe go look back at that. But I know that in high school and when he played SA schools and SAA, he batted lower down, whereas Mulder batted a little higher up when he played for those teams. NY Times says Mulder is a floater, and imagining Stubbs coming in at number 7 in the next T20 World Cup for the last 10 balls will be perfect. Even though I rate Stubbs high, but I think he's better 10 ball batter than other SA batters. I think Stubbs is perfect at the moment where he is in all formats. I like him higher up where he has more time. He's the most talented batter, in my opinion, in the squad, in all the squads, from a natural ability perspective and the amount of shots he has in his arsenal. So for me, your best player should face the most amount of balls, in my opinion. And Mulder has county experience, yes, Keith. More composed at the crease. That county stint really helped him. Maharaj isn't varying pace trajectory that much, which isn't good. You'll be okay. I think tomorrow it's going to be a whole different ball game. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please smash the like button. Please comment in the comment section after we've ended the stream. And also subscribe and click that notification bell for all future videos. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for all the support in the live chat. Please remember to comment in the comment section afterwards as well. And I'll see you again tomorrow with another show. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out.